Life Advancement Center. I'm Kim Stanwood Terranova. I get to see you every week. I'm so happy to see you here as we get to talk about the miracles. And I have Scott from San Diego. He said yes to sit with me today. Thank you for that.
Lots
and
of
you have
yeses.
the perfect shirt on for this. So we're very grateful he's here because you had a good week, right? Phenomenal week.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So I can't wait for you to share with everyone your
Okay.
phenomenal week. So I'm really glad you said yes.
Yeah, me too.
And it's been a joy to have you in class.
Thank you.
Now tell us.
I love how you pray, by the way.
You do.
Oh, you pray amazingly.
Oh.
Well, it's just, your prayers rock.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So how about at the end of this, I'll say a closing prayer.
Done. I love
Because
it.
I don't always do that, but you
Okay.
just inspired me.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good.
Mhm.
So what got you to rythmia? We'd love to know that.
Yeah, super random.
All right.
I was at a real estate event, and there was a person there who I'd never met before, and she and I had a quick exchange, and I shared something about my life with her, and she was inspired that night to want to share rythmia with me. And so the next day she said, I need to talk to you before you go. And she said, have you ever heard of ayahuasca? And I said, kind of, no.
Yeah.
And she shared something about herself and a little bit about her story and how it changed her life, and that she was led and called to want to share it with me based on the little information I'd given her the day before about my own personal story.
Yes.
And I didn't realize how much I was searching, because as soon as she shared it and I got on my shuttle to go back to the airport and to return home, I started Google searching ayahuasca, rythmia, and it was very quick. This was 7 weeks ago.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And so it was a resounding yes, a very quick, immediate yes, I'm all in. And yeah, I didn't realize how much yearning I had inside for more.
What's your name?
Scott. Her name?
Yeah.
Janine.
Janine, thank you. Good call.
Thank you, Janine.
The fact that she trusted her intuition though and came back to you after you shared something to say, hey, I have to tell you about this. Wow, that's beautiful and profound. Good. So tell us about your week, your miracle, what you loved about it. I know it's a long. I can tell.
How long do we have?
As long as you'd like.
Really?
Everyone, we may be here for a while. Tell us the highlights.
So Monday night was a highlight because I'm very hard on myself, and the miracle I got Monday was about all of the
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
I just sobbed Wednesday, which I needed to do. She died about a year ago. She was late stage Alzheimer's patient. And so she was gone for a long time mentally. Like
Sure.
She was alive, but gone for so long. So I never really did. I felt like I had spent all that time mourning, but I hadn't spent any time mourning. So I really got to do that and see that and feel that. And
thank you to your mom too. Yeah.
And then Thursday though was the highlight. Thursday, and I thought also, so I thought I got my miracle, like my real miracle.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I got it earlier in the week, and I didn't. It took till Thursday, but there's no doubt in my mind now that, you know, as a young man, as a boy, I was always living in fear. I had a red spot on my face. I had ears that stick out. I had braces. I was a very awkward kid. I moved around a lot because my dad was in the military. So we were always picking up and moving, starting new. And that was scary. And I didn't realize how traumatic that was for me, because my parents were married and they stayed married and they loved me. I wasn't abused. I didn't have any bad stories, but I still had trauma.
Yeah.
But I didn't connect to the trauma because it never, when I hear other people's trauma, I like, that's trauma.
Interesting.
Right. I went through.
Isn't that interesting that we gauge our trauma like, oh, I didn't have enough trauma as you did, so I don't need to say anything.
Yeah.
Keep going. It's just an interesting point.
It is. So I've lived in fear, and I've lived through others. I need your approval for me to feel good about myself. Without something else, or without a drug, because then I became an addict for many years. Without something external, I'm not good enough. That's how I've lived a large part of my life. And so Thursday night, I had an experience, the scariest experience of my life. It was pure terror. And I was yelling for help. And help came. But I experienced something I've never experienced before in terms of real fear, like heart racing fear. And I wanted to end it. I wanted to end it all because it was just so much pain that I was going through in that moment. And then there was immediately help. Lola came. And
we love Lola.
I love her so much. And at first I thought Lola saved me. But she didn't. Lola showed me the way.
Yeah.
And then she left. And the darkness came back. And I asked her, please come back, check on me. And she said she would. And in my experience, she didn't come back and check on me. Her experience, I spoke to her afterwards. She did, and she saw me sleeping. And she knew I was okay. But in my experience, I had a reoccurrence of that darkness come back, and this fear and this panic. And I was screaming. Her name, Lola. Where are you, Lola? I need help, Lola.
Yeah.
And she didn't come back. So I had to do it all by myself. I did it.
Yeah. That was so good. And I did it.
I did it. And then for the rest of the night, I had a love affair with myself.
I'm sorry,
I was commentating.
It's so great.
I was commentating myself. I was like, Scott, I love you so much. You are my favorite person in the whole world. I just want to spend every waking minute with you from now on. Let's hang out. I got your back. I mean, it was all of that afterwards. After I had that moment, then I was like, okay, I'm enough. I'm good enough. I can do this. I don't need a thing. I don't need a drug. I don't need a person. I just need me. That's it. And so the exercise was imagining what I was doing is I was imagining myself as a young boy. And my younger self came up and hugged me. It was amazing. So that was that was my merge.
And miracle after miracle after miracle. There's so many insights there. I thought I needed someone else, something outside of myself, the pattern of still looking outside of myself, but oh my goodness. And this is something you pointed to that I want to make sure that we speak about that's so important. Is one of the scariest moments of my life. One of the most breakthrough moments is what I'm hearing, correct? That changed my life, right? Because you'll be different from this point on.
I am different.
Right. So if we could hold on through those moments that appear scary or our perception is off, that somebody didn't come back. Oh, wait, I was supposed to do this on my own at this part. Those are profound insights that change our lives. Brilliant job.
And to think that somehow God orchestrated that for me, because that's not anybody else's story. Everybody else has their own story.
Correct.
And there's some maybe parallels, but nobody else had that exact same story. That story was for me specifically to learn what I needed to learn very specifically for me, where I am today, right now in my life. And then the other piece I want to share to make sure people get is the breath. Because when everybody rushed to me at first, Lola, and there were some helpers as well, they were all saying two things: relax,
relax,
right on him, and breathe. breathe, 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 breathe. And I just kept saying that to myself as well,
Yes.
because I keep forgetting to breathe.
Yes.
And I find that surprising, because I have to breathe to live, and yet I don't breathe enough.
Mm.
And I'm learning that, and I need more practice at it. And the breathwork sessions here are amazing. And the breathwork session last night was absolutely mind altering. It was amazing. And so that's a practice I need to be taking home with me. I need to keep practicing that, because it's my breath. My breath is my life.
Yes.
And without the breath, it's going to be a lot harder. It is a lot harder. No.
Thank you for saying that. Our breath work sessions are miraculous.
Yes.
And as well as ceremony, every night, the 4 nights of ceremony, those 3 nights of breath work just prepare us and also bring us back. Like you knowing that you went through that whole week, and then your finale was breath work to just incorporate it all. I have this belief that I feel like our breath is our first lesson of trust, that as soon as we're born, we start, we're breathing, but we trust that as soon as we exhale, there's always more to inhale. So we've taught trust in our very first breath, if we take that on in life. So to trust now that I always have enough breath, I get to stop and remember to trust myself to breathe. Come back to center over and over again.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I'm so happy for you.
Me too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I get to go home different. I get to be with myself and be okay with it.
Yes.
And one more thing that just came to mind was, part of all that was forgiveness. And one of the shamans from Ladies Night, Waleska, she and I had a moment after ceremony that night, because I had a rough Wednesday night. And I needed some help and some guidance, because I knew I only had one more night of ceremony anyway. And I really wanted to get it right, if you will, and really go all the way and have some clarity around that. And we talked about it, and she helped me filter through my thoughts to boil it down to forgiveness of myself, because I've done some stupid things. When I look back at my history, there's a lot of stuff that I wish I had done differently. Or that I used to wish I had done differently. And now I don't have to worry about all of that. And I was able to really forgive myself and forgive all of those things that I've done, and just live from now on.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that helped as well, because that's why I was so disconnected from myself, and why I was lonely. I was scared of being alone, and didn't even like myself very much because of all the garbage and the pain that I caused. I was able to just get rid of all of it. And it's, it will be a work in progress for sure. I was just on the phone not a few minutes ago, and something came out of my mouth that was very negative in terms of myself, how I view myself. And the person on the other end of the phone brought that to my attention immediately and said, wait a second, reword that. How can you reword that?
How beautiful that you're speaking to someone in your life that could lovingly interrupt the pattern and get you back on track. Yeah. That's part of the integration.
Yeah. It's part of the community as well.
Yes. Lovely. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Like, this all happened in 1 week. That's profound to realize such massive shifts in 5 days, 6 days of your life. So when you go home, and how do you feel relationships and things are going to change? Not only the relationship with yourself, with other people in life. What do you feel is going to be occurring now?
It's a good question. I feel like I'll be more present, less reactive. They'll get to have their space. They won't feel such need from me. They won't feel so responsible for my well-being. They'll know that I'm enough for myself, that I don't need you or anybody else. Yes. Not in a negative way. Not like I don't need you, but I don't. And I'm here for you. And but I'm okay. I'm enough. So I don't know how that'll play out, but I have to believe that it'll be a positive thing.
Yes.
And what I really, really want is, my daughter's 15 and she's adopted, and she has a birth mom who has 3 other children that she has kept. So my daughter is the only one she adopted out, and she has a lot of pain around that, for sure has a lot of pain around that. And she's going through some emotional things. And my hope and my desire is to be able to now lead by example in terms of connection, breath, self-acceptance, self-love, forgiveness, those kinds of things. And that I get to have those conversations with her now from a place of being the example, not just saying one thing and acting another. I get to
Correct.
come out from integrity,
Mhm.
and I get to live it in front of her now and show her. She's 15, so if there was ever a time that this is a key moment in her life, I believe that this is
Yes.
as key a time as any for her. Yeah.
So everyone's life changes because of your work here.
Yeah.
Everyone in your family, those that are near you, everyone's life has an adjustment because of your wake up. I just think that's miraculous. It's miraculous. And I say it in class, you probably heard this week, that when we're here doing the work, when guests come to do this deep work, everyone in your life, everything shifts because you come home differently. And it will take practices, and it will take courage, and it will take your breath to be conscious in every detail, and you'll do the best you can. And then you forgive yourself when you forget and get back up and do it again. Forgiveness is something we get to keep practicing. We peel off layers over and over again as we keep practicing it. So you just got a big, huge coat removed, and now you get to do it again.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to speak of before we finish at Rythmia that you're like, oh, this and that I
Well,
loved?
it's not just breath work, and it's not just ceremony.
Yeah.
It's from tip to tail. The whole
Yeah.
program is designed to cleanse
Yes.
everything,
Yes.
from the food to the cleansing to all of it. It is way beyond anything I ever possibly could have imagined. And it's holistic in its approach, which is very comforting because I feel like I got taken care of from all different angles, all different
Yes.
perspectives.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah.
I'm so proud.
And the monkeys talk
They do.
They
were
do.
talking so much this week.
so much. So I was with another guest one morning after ceremony before we didn't go to bed. We just stayed up and we were walking around the grounds. And we got up to the fence and we were literally making sounds and they were responding back. And then we would make a sound and they would respond back. I mean, monkeys were talking to us.
Yes.
It
I
was
believe
profound. Yeah,
I understand.
absolutely.
And there was messages in that.
Yeah.
The monkeys here this week were very chatty. In class every week, how many times it'd be right when we'd be saying something and all of a sudden they'd scream and it'd be like, oh, that we need to pay attention to what was just said. Scott, is there anything else? I mean, everything you just said was perfectly brilliant. Perfectly brilliant. Could you share with someone who could be on the fence, like, oh, should I go to Rythmia? Almost as if your new friend that came up to you and said, I'm supposed to tell you this. What would you say to people if they were considering it?
Trust. I mean, if someone has recommended it to you, it's probably because they've gone and had their own experience. And if there's something you see in that other person that is appealing and that you might want for yourself, is to just trust. Just trust.
You hear that? Trust.
Yeah. And it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
Good job.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled.
Yeah, me
Do you
too.
want that prayer?
I do.
Okay, prayer time. We're going to have a closing prayer today. Can I have your hand?
Yes.
Lovely. All right, everybody, join us, please. Join us, please. So grateful, grateful, grateful as Scott's request. Yes. In this divine space right here and now, and the technology that we have before us, I'm knowing that the divine source of all that is sourcing us. Those that are listening at this moment, and those that listen at another moment, and Scott and I right here, and Scott's family, my family, all of the global world is our family. So I accept that this source energy, divine presence, God is, I am, is moving through each and every one of us. There is no one who is left out. There's a light of healing that is moving through Scott right now, that he moves out into his family. And there's a light of healing that everyone in his family is touched by, that moves out to everyone they know. So I bless him. I bless him right where he's at. And I know he has the tools to integrate all of his insights and healing as he reenters his world. I bless those that are on their way to Rythmia now. They're landing right now. I bless them and welcome them, knowing their hearts are open and receptive for a transformational week.
Yeah.
And those that are listening and considering, we welcome them and invite them into the chambers of trust of their heart, that they come as we welcome them here and we're preparing them space for their transformation.
Yeah.
Grateful for Rythmia. I trust this word and let it go and simply say, thank you, Spirit. And so it is.
So it is.
Amen. Amen. There you go.
Chills.
I don't usually pray in this, but hey, it's a good time to pray.
Why not?
Have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much.
Welcome. That was fun.
So good. And come see me soon. I'll see you at another Saturday. I'll be right here. We're going to go out and enjoy the rain and the monkeys today. So we'll see you at Rythmia very soon. Ciao.